There are many first-generation college students who carry the hopes of many in the family. There's a special place in the hierarchy of education for HBCU institutions for educating as black students when at one time it was illegal to do so. Black families are traditionally multi-generation, and the same thing exists on black college campuses. That is part of the success of black colleges. There's a commonality between family values at home and the structure and framework within the institution's nurturing network. If you've never been to or visited a black college, you've missed out. Nothing is the same on an HBCU campus, just like in black culture. The friendships, the family atmosphere, and even the event of brother-to-brother conflict. Institutes graduate numerous productive students into the world. But through all of this nurturing serenity, there's a time when all of this is tossed aside. That's on the weekend. Man, on the weekend, all bets are off as black colleges turn up for a good time. Nobody does it like they do. And during the fall, it's football season, and in the South, football is the king. The supporters, fans, alumni, family, and boosters come together in a special environment, oftentimes partying activities starting on Friday, and many times on Thursday night, and sometimes even on Wednesday. Foods are being marinated, cooked, and prepared. Good eats are everywhere, and everyone gets their drink on and their eat on. Love, fellowship, flirting, and dating, and an old-fashioned good time abounds, and even the shade and the bougie are all a part of everything that makes for football game day.
And this is Mickey Clayton, the coach, and with me today on Insights on HBCU Sports is Earl the Pearl.
Hey, how's everybody doing out there? Hope all is well.
Oh, look at talking to the audience.
Yes, sir.
Boy, it don't take him long to be a star. Then we know it was an interesting week in HBCU sports, as always.
Oh, yeah. Man, it was a great weekend.
It was a great weekend. I see you got that FAMU grin going.
I had an awesome time, Coach. It was fun. Just like old times in the stands. A lot of friends and family and fellowship. And we had a good time with the Southern crowd.
Always an ongoing argument about the MEAC and the SWAC. Right now, you got 2-0. Might be 3-0, the MEAC over the SWAC, because Bethune-Cookman beat Mississippi Valley.
Yeah, and don't forget, Bethune-Cookman beat Jackson State earlier this year, so it is 3-0.
Well, I was going to forget it because I'm with the SWAC, so right now, being down 0-3 to the MEAC, that's a little surprising. That has been an ongoing conversation, even among us coaches, forever.
Right.
About which team, which league is the strongest and in which sports. But right now, MEAC is rolling pretty good.
Yeah, they are. They're rolling. State Army matchup, and Morgan State was only down 3 at one point, 24-21 to Army. But they went ahead and pushed the gas on them and ended up winning 52-21. But that showed a level of competition, as we just alluded to, and particularly out of Morgan State, who is not normally one of the stronger teams in the MEAC, but they hung right in there with a really good Army team that we saw only lose to Michigan. Michigan escaped against Army. So Howard notches the first conference win over Delaware State, 24-9. North Carolina Central won. They beat Elizabeth City 45-7. Montana State over Norfolk 56-21. And we've already talked about Bethune-Cookman and Florida A&M notching victories over the SWAC conference this year.
Yeah, because Caitlin Newton, Cam's little brother, was 21 for 35 from the field with 242 yards and 2 touchdowns in that game.
Yes.
So he's been the difference maker for Howard. In the SWAC, we had 45-41 Alcorn over Prairie View. Grambling fell to Alabama State 23-20. We're hearing rumblings out of Louisiana over there, so we hope that Grambling can turn that around. Alabama A&M lost to Sanford 55-21. And the best game on the schedule next week for SWAC, or this week coming up, is Grambling at Prairie View.
Yeah.
But over in CIAA, more known for basketball and football, they've been getting after it pretty good in football this year. And we have a couple of games coming up in the CIAA. You got Bowie State is 3-0, Livingston's 3-0. Fayetteville is 2-1, and the November 9th showdown between Virginia State and Virginia Union. Right now, both of them are 1-0 in the league and 2-1 overall. One of the surprising scores was the score of the Winston-Salem-Tuskegee game. That was 23-20, Winston-Salem winning. Virginia Union beat Johnson C. Smith 33-19, and Virginia State beat St. Aug 34-7. We have coming up, one of the things that we talked about is we brought in, we did a release on Shykayla Hill, point guard from Grambling, coached by Eddie Murray, who was assistant coach at Florida A&M one time, who's done an excellent job with giving the head coach opportunity at Grambling. First ever female basketball player at Grambling to be able to sign a contract, a professional contract overseas. You need to go to that link and see the whole show. It's only about 6 minutes with some quotes and comments from different people, including the king. LeBron James made a comment about the play of the young lady.
That was a rivalry game against Prairie View last year where it was a hard-fought game all the way throughout. We were down by 1 point with 12 seconds left in the game, inbound in the half court. This young lady, the ball was thrown into her, play was drawn up for her. She was able to score through traffic, go up by 1. She falls on the floor. They inbound the basketball. She sprints the length of the court, blocks the shot, gets the rebound, and dribbles the ball out with all of I think 11 seconds on the clock. So that just goes to show you her impact with this basketball team, what she was able to do on both ends of the floor. And that's one of the reasons why she goes down as one of the best players, because she did it being in a small frame, but she did it on both ends of the floor year in, year out. And I'm just so proud of her, and I'm looking forward to even following her career over in the professional levels over in Russia.
First of all, congratulations to her. We was actually at a taco spot here.
And one of the things I want to mention is Florida A&M had a wide receiver that passed 200 yards, receiving yards, was the 4th receiver in the history of Florida A&M University to go over 200 yards in a single game, redshirt sophomore from Haines City, Florida, named Zay Smith. As a redshirt sophomore and half a season to go, he gonna be something for them to have to deal with.
And on his 22nd birthday.
Oh, was it?
Yes, sir. And in addition, we have to also note Ryan Stanley, who was able to break Quinn Gray's completion record, I believe, last week as well. So we had some great performances last week. Looking forward. Coach, I got to get back to it, though, because there's some people out there who got this big debate about the bands. And I'm going to tell it, I'm going to say it now. When you put your instruments on the ground and dance, the competition is over. Because we haven't seen that in ages. And
Coach, yes we did.
Coach,
yes we did. Didn't I think Madison High School band did that.
Madison High School did it. They did it, Coach. Listen, I'm gonna tell you this now. Southern's band is something else in the stands.
They're very good
in
now.
The stands.
Yeah, in the stands.
But they put their instruments on the ground, Coach, and started to dance. Competition was over, ladies and gentlemen. We don't even need to say anything else about it.
That's it.
That's it.
And we have in our intention is to make sure we just kind of keep you updated with some of the mainstream things that are happening around the HBCU circuit, and some of it's not so mainstream. As we've said earlier in the first show, you cannot publicize, promote, or advertise HBCU institutions enough, or the kids that play them.
And they need it. They need the publicity. They need the notoriety, because it only is going to make those conferences stronger.
And sign off.
Signing off.
Stay up to date with the latest from Insights. Visit our website at insights.com. 2 I's in the middle. INSiiGHTS.
Insights is the copyright of MAC4 Enterprises, a Florida corporation. This broadcast is produced under the exclusive ownership of MAC4 Enterprises and is the intellectual property and trademark of MAC4 Enterprises. Comments of the host and other individual speakers on Insights represent the independent thoughts and representation.